What's up, guys? I'm Brett.
I'm Lance.
And this is Rants R.R. And as always, guys, if you like our content, please, what are you doing?
I don't know.
Please subscribe. Please subscribe. Completely lost it.
Like, share, comment, subscribe.
Yes.
Like, share, comment, subscribe.
What he said. Do what he said. But anyways.
Today we're going to be discussing if George R.R. Martin will ever finish A Song of Fire and Ice.
I say no. What do you say?
He'll die first.
I would think so too. And you know why? Because he's already 75, and it takes him 10 years to write one book.
He's been writing this one for like 12?
A Dance with Dragons.
I don't know really. He's been
A Dance with Dragons has actually come out in 2011, so yeah, it's taken
and then in
about
2018
that. So,
it was Fire and
Fire and Blood. And you know what? I'm glad he come out with that because I think that's what they're basing. What is it? A House of Dragons off that?
House of Dragons, yeah. So it's supposed to be based off of set 300 years before Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Which I'm kind of excited about that. I'm excited about the story from that.
I don't understand why you went backwards and wrote the prequel before you finished the story you had already started.
See, that's the problem a lot of Game of Thrones fans actually have with George R.R. Martin. It's not his writing that we have a problem with. Man, we have a problem with it takes him 20 years to write one book. And he'll write all of these other little lore books. Yeah, these side stories that no one asked for. Everybody's like, when are you going to get the next book? When's the winter going to come out?
It's like whenever I feel like it. Winter is coming.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's why I kind of feel towards it too. I'm like, when is this guy going to finish his books?
He's not.
Like, I don't think his intention is really to do it.
I wonder if he has writer block. Like, if he put out the best he had in the Game of Thrones, and now he's just like, oh man, they liked it, but then towards the end they didn't. So what do I do now? Like,
you know, in past interviews, he has actually commented on something similar to that about where he
put out the best he could do.
Yeah, like he said that years ago he was like getting chapter by chapter by chapter out, and then somewhere along the lines he just. I don't know. He stopped caring about things.
Well, I don't know if he actually really has writer block, or if he got rich off of Game of Thrones and was like, screw it.
I think basically that was probably some of it too. I mean, because I think that 2011 or 2012 was when Game of Thrones actually did come out. So it was like right after that, and they were thinking
it was 2011.
Yeah, and they were thinking, okay, we have all this time. He's going to finish the book by then. And then it's not even like probably a third of the way through. And it's 8 years later and the show's been off air for...
That's probably why the show sucks.
Yeah, well it was because why the show sucked. Because they ran out of actual material.
Yeah. So they just started making things up and he was, I guess, signing off on it. I don't know.
But, well, I always wondered, they always say...
He loses rights after a while.
Dan and Dave did kind of... say, well, we work with him, but then I don't know. But I think they kind of did maybe push him out. I don't really think he really wanted to be involved in that much either. I think if it was 20 years earlier,
well, maybe if he had completely stayed uninvolved, he would have had time to, I don't know, write.
Or stop doing these side stories. Like, I hate that about writers. They want to fill up their lore to such an extreme that they forget about the main story that people are calling for.
Do that first.
Yeah. Finish your series, then go back and write the lore over that.
Or
because
then they would lore that your story's going to be based off of before you write your story.
Yeah, because then people, fans would be actually wanting.
I'm not an author, so I don't know how this all works. But
well, I mean, I would say when it comes to him, I feel like that is his problem. Is like he's done it completely and totally backwards. Instead of doing the main story first, and then people are like, "Man, that was good. I want another one." Instead of doing that, he's like, "No, I'm just going to give him these side stories, and then that'll entertain him." I don't really think he ever had an intention in the last 10 years of actually finishing the book. I really don't. He has no reason to now. Now that Game of Thrones is over.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason.
What, the fans are going to be mad at me? Well, we're already mad at you because the way you let Game of Thrones ended in the first place.
And I kind of feel like that was...
You had to have had some kind of control.
Yeah. And I kind of... Yeah, it's hard for me to believe that the Night King is going to be killed by Arya. It's just... I don't know, because... And I say this
I wonder
because...
if maybe they, like, took a hat. Yeah. And they just put every character's name in it. And they, like, pick one. They pull out Arya. Oh, she's killed the Night King.
Well, you know... To me, I think it had more to do with the status of what was going on at the time.
Justice. Social
justice. I feel like they wanted to, you know, kind of put Arya in the forefront. That's just my view on it. I feel like that's kind of the way they were doing on that. They were kind of making, it's like, and the reason why I say that is because look at Jon Snow. Like, what did Jon Snow even say except McQueen?
In that last season?
Like, I mean, that was it. That's all he said in the last season.
Not much, but
they belittled him to such an extent.
She's my sister.
Yeah. Like, they made Arya into this giant, monster killer. And then brought Jon Snow down.
Daenerys wanted something done about Sansa.
Yeah.
And he was always, she's my sister, my queen.
No.
Well, I'm your queen.
Yeah, I know, basically. But that was kind of his way. It was like, you know what? I can't do nothing because I love her and all that kind of stuff. And I felt like
I don't know if he loved Daenerys or if he was scared of her. Like,
that's your aunt, dude. Like, I mean, I kind of always.
Well, it's not his twin sister.
But see, that's one thing I always hated about Twilight. It's like no chick really thought about, hey, there's a dead guy and a dog. And, like, no one ever thought about that, and that just kind of went, under the radar, and we were like, I'm team this, I'm team that. Well, the same thing actually kind of went.
My issue with that,
Game of Thrones.
my issue was always kind of with that, was like, you could do anything in this world, and you decided to go back to high school and date high school girls. You were like 100 or 200 and something years old.
Like some kind of creepy pedophile Dracula.
Yeah. But
I mean, that's got
Game of Thrones got ruined, and I do not personally think J.R.R. Martin is ever going to finish this story.
Okay, I have to rant about this one thing real quick.
It's Rants.
Yeah, it is Rants R.R, so I have a right to. When it comes to that, yes, that is, if I had eternal life, going to biology class would not be it. Like, that would not be how I'd spend my time. I would hope that I'd
everybody's going to argue, well, they had to keep up this image that they were only 17. Why? If anybody challenged them, they could just, I don't know, rip their throat out.
I don't, like, what are they going to do? Send, like, cops after them? Like,
yes.
Be like, go to school. That would, well, I mean, I just kind of feel like that would be a little stupid, even for but as far as George R.R. Martin is concerned, I feel like George R.R. Martin is just more concerned with, I don't know, retirement more than he is actually finishing the book.
And then, like, when they were, this is so off topic. God dang it, I hate doing this. Okay, in Twilight, when he takes her to the house and he shows her the wall of all their little, like, graduation camps. Of all the schools they graduated from, they're like, oh, it's kind of an inside joke in the family. No, dude, those are called trophies.
Is that, like, is that on Twilight?
Yeah, they got all the graduation caps. And he's like, oh, it's a little inside joke. It's all the graduation caps from where we went to high school.
Yes.
No, we call those trophies in the real world.
That was a weird series.
Yeah,
that. But let's
get back on topic.
Let's get back on Game of Thrones. But as far as Game of Thrones is concerned, I just feel like I just feel like he's bored of it. I think he's tired of people asking him, when's he gonna get that? I think it's like his little inside joke, where, hey, you want it done? I'm not gonna do it.
I wonder if his big joke was, he was getting on, I'm gonna write this series, I'm gonna get them hooked, and then I'm just gonna go die.
Yeah, basically, I think he's got a sick sense of humor to a certain extent. I really do.
He clearly has a sick mind because he makes brothers and sisters screw on the weekly episodic.
I don't know which is worse, that or him with his aunt.
I would say brothers and sisters. They were twins.
It's hard. You see, only on Game of Thrones would you have to make that choice. Which is worse, sleeping with your aunt or sleeping with your sister? Neither is a good option, guys. That's just a no-no all the way around. But as far as
I didn't understand that when there were so many other options of people you could sleep with. I'm gonna go pick my sister.
Yeah, when you're supposed to be like the most handsome guy in the world, and you're like,
Jamie.
yeah, I know. Then you go sleep with your sister. Yeah, that's all I want to do. And then he got with Brienne of Tarth. Like, yeah, the only two women you want to be with is Brienne of Tarth, and which is suspect at best.
And how did all their kids look so normal? Like, how did they not have 3 eyeballs or
what? Normal isn't what I would call any of their kids. Like, I mean,
they look normal.
Yeah.
I didn't say they were normal.
Joffrey was kind of a creep. But as far
the one I liked the most was the daughter, and she died because of poisoning or something.
Yeah.
But that was all because that was payback to get Cersei. She cost him all his children. Then he gets his hand cut off, and she's like, "You're useless now."
I know, and then he still goes back to her and then dies with her, which that ruined it for me, because I felt like that was his whole story arc was just completely off.
To die for his sister.
But see, that's another thing about story. You know, when we're talking about story arc, that's actually a big deal, because the story is, I think George R.R. Martin actually kind of made it where that it was a little too complex.
I'm wondering if George R.R. Martin has sisters at this point. Is he in love with them or what?
Well, I mean, I kind of feel like
I just don't know who thinks this shit.
No, a twisted man.
Hey, clearly.
I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. I like George R.R. Martin.
I do not.
He's probably not a guy I'd want to live next to. You know, probably not a guy I'd want my sister to date either. You know?
Well, at least it'd be my sister, not his.
I don't know if that makes you funny. But when it comes to it, he did make the plot really convoluted. He made the plot very convoluted. So that, I mean, I think he got to the point where he's like, what do I do with all these characters? Because as many characters as there is on Game of Thrones, there's like
a bad habit of trying to make all these little side characters too important.
I mean,
even that Brienne.
Patchface even has his own chapter. I mean, basically his own chapter. Exactly. Some kind of weird jokester. Like, I mean, he even, you know, they go into great details about him, you know, and Stannis and all that other kind of stuff like that. Now Stannis' kid, you know, just follows him around wherever he goes. But either way, then you're right. He makes people that are unimportant
Stannis was another twisted.
In the book, yeah, but see, that's the difference. The Stannis in the books and the Stannis in the show are two
separate. Well, let me ask you this. Did he still sacrifice his own kid?
No.
Oh, because
he hasn't got, of course, we haven't got them yet. The Battle of the Bastards hasn't taken place yet.
It's probably never gonna.
No, you're right, it probably never will. But either way, you know, it's a completely different setup because Sansa isn't even there. Like, that's not even Sansa. So, I mean, and you know, the wildlings are kind of, you know, in between too. But either way,
I want to talk about that.
I just feel like.
What is Jon Snow? Is he a wildling now?
I think he is a wildling now. I think when Jon Snow went back to the Wall, I don't think it was actually to serve his time at the Wall. I think it was actually to go live with the wildlings.
Well, his shift ended.
I can't believe that you could actually cause a man to go to the Wall twice because the Dothraki told them to.
Well, the first time he volunteered.
Yeah, the first time he volunteered, but the second time, the Dothraki wasn't going to leave. There was like 5 Dothraki left.
I had a problem with that too. They were like, oh, Jon Snow didn't break his vows because he technically died, right? And then the Red Witch brought him back. Yeah. Well, he technically did break his vows because he screwed a wildling.
Yeah, he did break his vows.
In like season 1.
Well, yeah,
or
I know.
2.
But I mean, you know, either way, I feel like George R.R. Martin is. I just feel like he just made his stories a little too complicated. They're great stories. They're amazing stories.
I liked Game of Thrones. I really did. I loved it there for a while. Mm-hmm. I got out of it. I lost my train of thought.
I got out of it at season 6.
Got out of it, and
I finished it.
I don't like George R.R. Martin now.
No.
I felt like he wasted years of my flipping life.
Yeah, to give us
to give us a story we didn't want.
Yeah, well, to give us I don't blame him so much for the ending of Game of Thrones as what I do for never finishing and giving us the right story of Game of Thrones.
That's what I'm saying.
He tries to say
he stopped giving us the story we wanted, and then went over here and did a story we didn't ask for.
When there was so much backlash about the series finale, he tried to come out and say, well, you know, mine's not going to be that much different from theirs. I call BS on that one. And I'll tell you why.
This is how you pointed
because
to go all along.
Well, you cannot tell me that after the backlash that you saw Dan and Dave get, you would actually do the exact same thing. But you would have to be a complete and total moron.
In their last season, there was some horrible directing. Like Daenerys was drinking Starbucks.
Yeah, I mean it was.
How did your editing team not catch this?
I felt like the whole thing was just like, let's just get out of here.
Yeah, I think even the actors were just like, oh, can we just do this all in one take and say screw it, no matter how bad it is?
I mean, okay, they made it to me very clear with the short episodes. I mean, not with the short episodes, but with the short, where there was only a season amount of episodes. You know, where there was only like 6.
Oh, so you're talking about when they shorted the episodes? Yeah.
So I mean, you know, not giving us 10 episode seasons or something like that. Which I mean, to be honest with you,
10 short enough.
Game of Thrones really needed an extra 2 seasons to really be. I mean, it didn't need just an extra season. It needed like
extra
2 more
seasons or extra episodes per season.
No, I would say 2 seasons full. Even George R.R. Martin did state that.
You think 2 full 10 episode season?
I do.
So you think we need another 20 episodes?
Basically, and I would even say that would just be the minimum.
I don't think I would have finished it if that was the case.
I think you would have if it would have started from beginning to end in that way, because they wouldn't have been rushing things and making things where it just didn't make sense anymore.
Maybe.
I mean, that's the way I look at that.
Do I think he'll ever finish books? No. Don't think it's going to happen. I hate to say it. Sorry, guys.
We're going to the ending for Game of Thrones will always be the ending that we get from Dan and Dave.
I think so.
Not from George R.R. Martin.
I think so too. And if you disagree, please tell us in the comments why.
Yeah. Take care, guys.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, talk about it.